Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Right Hand Gals podcast. I'm your host, Renee. Today, we are going to be talking about my favorite topic, but most of y'all's least favorite topic, networking. I went on to stories and asked you guys if you enjoyed networking, if you didn't enjoy networking, and 78% of you guys said you hated networking, and 22% of you said you enjoy it. So, there might be just 22% of you guys listening to the podcast. So, hey guys, welcome. No, but I'm just kidding. I think I'm hoping that this episode is going to encourage and almost ease your mind when it comes to networking. I also hate the word networking, so we're going to dive into that. But before I start with my highs and lows and before we start with talking about networking, I wanted to give you guys a few updates about the Right Hand Gals. As you're probably realizing, Lissa is not here. She's decided to focus more on growing her side of the business and her business. I'm honestly so excited for her. I think that's something that she's always wanted to do. Her business is doing so great that she couldn't give her 100% to the podcast and she couldn't give her 100% to her business. So there's no bad blood there. But also with that is a lot of emotions on my side. It's definitely a bummer. I never really imagined myself doing this podcast by myself. I always imagined myself doing it with another person, but the show must go on. I'm still so passionate about Right Hand Gals, and I'm so passionate about influencer marketing and sharing my side and my life working behind the scenes in influencer marketing. And I mean, that's why we originally started Right Hand Gals, and that's why I'm going to keep going. I'm not finished yet. I see such value in coming here every single week and talking to you guys and sharing about my week and sharing my highs and lows, and I'm just not done yet. So it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know how I will do with solo episodes, but I know that I have a lot of knowledge. I know that I want to use this platform to still introduce you guys to other gals or pals or men or whatever you want to call them in this industry, a platform to come and talk and introduce you guys to them. And so that's what we're going to do. It is going to look a little different. I don't see myself doing an episode every single week, mostly because transparently, I don't know if you guys want to listen just to me ramble every single week. So for now, we're going to normalize taking breaks, and we're going to do 2 episodes per month, and one's going to be a solo episode with me, and the other one's going to be with another person that works in the industry. We're going to have a guest, and you guys, sometimes, this life gets a little crazy, and I might not have a guest. It might just be me, both episodes for the month, and it might not. I might throw in a bonus episode. There really are no rules, and that's kind of how I'm seeing this going. I care about everyone that's so far that is engaged with us and has loved the podcast. And I'm so glad that you love it because I love it so much. And I don't know, I just love it. I mean, I think you guys know that. But yeah, I'm not done yet. I still have so much to share. I still want to introduce you guys to this amazing industry that I work in. And I want you guys to almost have a friend if you're already in the industry and just need someone to listen to because you're working from home or you're going on your daily walk or just whatever it is. I just want to be that girl for you. And I hope that I am that girl for you, honestly, because I needed that whenever I started whenever I came into the industry, and I hope that I can be that person to you guys. So not much about the podcast is going to change other than it's just going to be me and a few guests here and there. Okay, so jumping into highs and lows, I have pretty good highs and lows today. So it's finally nice in Nashville. I feel like, as you guys all know, I grew up in Texas. I love the heat. I lived in Seattle for about 3 years. So I did get that really rough winter and which kind of like helped me move to Nashville, because in Nashville, if you don't know, we get all 4 seasons. So we get like a really brutal summer, spring is beautiful, fall is beautiful, and then winter it gets pretty rough. Like it's not like snowing like I'm sure you guys are thinking I'm such a wimp, but it doesn't snow like crazy. Like we're not getting like Michigan snow or anything, but we definitely get some ice, and it definitely gets into the teens every once in a while, which as a Texan, I hate. Like I don't like this. I don't like the winter at all. So it's finally warm. I'm feeling good. I have been working out in our backyard ever since it was above 75 degrees. So today I put on my bathing suit like a true work from home gal, and put on my bathing suit, got a big old blanket, worked outside, got a nice little base tan, and I'm real stoked about it. I am like, on a personal note, it takes so long for me to tan. So I'm really trying this year to get a nice little natural tan going. I saw this TikTok the other day from a creator, and she posted that she was at a workout class on a Saturday morning, and she looked across the street, and it was the old boutique that she used to work at. And she said, whenever she worked at the boutique, that she would always dream about like going and working out on Saturday morning. And she always thought to herself, like, one day I'm going to be able to do that. And honestly, I like felt that, because I remember whenever I worked in retail, working, awful hours, awful days, just like basically the days that no one else wants to work. And it being the weekend or during the day when it was just like always sunny outside, and I was just stuck in a store selling clothes to people, and just being like, oh, one day I'm going to be able to work outside, or I'm going to be able to spend more time outside, or I'm going to have more energy to go on walks during the day, instead of just being so exhausted because I've walked back and forth and talked to people for 8 hours straight. And today I kind of had that moment where I was just like, oh, I get to work and get all my stuff done, but still like do it in a bathing suit, which sounds so lame, but like honestly it brings me joy, and this is my high for the week. So I think I'm going to start asking you guys what your highs and lows are on Mondays, or just during the week in general, because I'm just so curious. I always feel kind of silly whenever I share mine, but it also is really good for me to share because it makes me smile. Like I'm smiling right now thinking about my day. A low is, a low is definitely that I'm doing this by myself right now, honestly. Like, even though I'm so happy for Lissa, and even though, like, I'm excited for her business to grow, like, it is a little sad for me to be doing this by myself. And I am not going to lie, I've re-recorded the first 5 minutes of this episode, like, 20 billion times, it seems like. Just kidding. It's only been, like, 3 times. But still, it's hard sitting behind this mic where I used to come and be so excited to talk with you guys, and I am still excited to talk with you guys, but to do it with your friend, and now I just feel like honestly, I feel like a little weird just sitting here talking to however many people listen to this podcast. Like at this point, a lot of people listen to the podcast, and I am so grateful for that, but it is weird. And I'm going to be honest, like, it is a little sad for me. I'm probably going to go do a face mask and ice roll my face to make myself feel better after this. But yeah, I'm just being honest. It's a little sad, but I think, and it's also really hard. I feel like I don't know how I'm going to be doing. This might be a 20-minute episode. Who knows? But just know that, like, I'm trying and I care, and I want to help and be knowledgeable and share my knowledge, so that's why I'm doing it. But just know also that I'm freaking out inside, and I also don't know if you guys are going to like just me, and that scares me a lot, and I've been thinking about that a lot lately. But I'm just wanting to be open and vulnerable with you guys, because you guys are vulnerable with me in messages. So that's where I'm at. So, but to move on, I want to talk about networking, because everyone gets so nervous when I bring up networking for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is. Like I said earlier, 78% of you said you hated networking, and only 22% of you said that you liked it. So I'm going to share a little bit like some encouragement and tips for networking, and maybe really even explain to you what I think networking is. And then I'm also going to share with you some tips that you guys give me, and what you guys think networking is, because you guys are seriously so smart. I was like, whenever I was reading some of the responses, I was like, wow, that's actually really smart. They should share that. So I want to, on stories, I want to keep doing that and like bring you all into the episode. So definitely follow us on Instagram at The Right Hand Gals, just to stay up with podcast episodes and to be talked about in episodes. But networking to me is more of just like putting yourself out there. I feel like I'm constantly networking, which just means like I'm constantly reaching out to people. I'm constantly DMing someone, asking them like to get coffee if they work in the same industry as me, or to, even if they don't work in the same industry as me, if I think someone's like cool and I like want to get to know them, I'm like that girl that will DM someone and say like, hey, would love to like connect or like get coffee. And I think that's kind of like a corporate thing to say, or like a businessy thing to say, would love to connect. So I don't really love that, but maybe like, hey, I would love to like chat more about this. Like, I see you're really interested in this, or I see you work here, so I'd love to like chat with you more about that. I think that's really interesting. And I think by doing that, it's going to make that person like feel good or feel special. And if it doesn't make them feel good or feel special, like if they're kind of weird about it, like that's kind of your answer that you're not going to get along, you know? And like I've said in previous episodes, if someone's weird or mean to you about wanting to like further your career or trying hard, like you don't want to be friends with that person. So I think most people are very kind and are also really interested in meeting new people or making new friends. So that's definitely like a way you could do it. And that's the way that me and Lissa became friends, honestly, is by me. And I know you guys know this, but I messaged Lissa a long time ago before I even started working in the industry, and just asked her like what she did in the industry, like if she liked it, what she didn't like about it, all that stuff. And we became really good friends. So just don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and just like DM them. You can also add them on LinkedIn if it's a more like professional setting. I totally see that as being like another way of networking, is adding them on LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, make a LinkedIn. Like, you need a LinkedIn. It's 2022. So make a LinkedIn. Also, something you can do, what I said a little bit earlier, is asking them to coffee, especially if they live in the same city as you. I think something that's so hard, I'm 27 years old, living in Nashville with like a ton of creatives around me, and I still sometimes am like, I feel like I have no friends that sometimes, like, and which is so dumb to say, because I know I have great friends. I don't have a ton of friends, but I have great friends, but sometimes I do feel like a little alone, that I don't like know as many people as other people do. Or like, if you want to meet people and you want to become friends with them, like asking someone to coffee because you have similar interests is like a way to do that. And it's a great way to connect with them on a business level. If you want to work with them, if you just like what they do, that's just a way you can do it. I know I've said this in the past too. I feel like whenever someone thinks of networking, they just think of like going to the job fair and like having all of these old guys with long tables and brochures about why you should come and work for them, or like why you should go to school there or whatever. And that's just not, if you're getting into this industry, that's just not it, you know? Like, I think that's very much like a rom-com early 90s or late 90s movie that you see. And I just don't see it that way anymore. And like I said earlier, I think we should maybe come up with a different word. Maybe networking just isn't it. Maybe we should talk about that on Instagram. What should we call networking instead of networking? I am not going to brainstorm because I would just fully embarrass myself because I come up with some weird stuff. But I think maybe if it was a different word, maybe, just maybe, we'd be a little less stressed about it. So some responses that you guys gave for what is networking to you is someone said using connections to people to gain knowledge in something they are experts of. I mean, I think that's pretty smart. Meeting new people, building connections, and pitching yourself. I mean, that's so true too. Reaching out to people you normally wouldn't with the intent to make business connections. I mean, like, yeah, that's like kind of like what everyone would say is more of like networking. Okay, and then I asked any advice you would feel to those who are feeling nervous about networking, and I feel like I got like a handful of really good response. Someone said get drunk first, which like relatable. Honestly, yeah, grab a cocktail before you go. Maybe don't get like super drunk, but it's not a bad idea. Nearly everyone feels the same way you do. Feel the fear and do it anyways. And she put a little kissing emoji. Also relatable. Everyone is so nervous. I mean, I like remember or like I know the feeling of walking into a coffee shop where you're about to meet someone and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. They're going to think I'm so lame. They're going to think I'm just wasting their time. And I guarantee you they're thinking the same thing. So like, it's fine. You can do it. Someone else said, also, it's like, what do you have to lose? The anxiety will go away once you just take the first step, which again is so true. Shout out to you for saying that. I mean, the anxiety will go away once you just take the first step. I feel like once you're sitting there, once you have sent that message, you're just going to feel better because it's just going to feel like a conversation with a new friend or whatever. And like I said in the past, if that person doesn't respond, it's fine. Who cares? If that person makes you feel dumb, it also looks more bad on them than it does for you because you're just trying to further your career, meet new people. And if that person isn't wanting to interact with you, like, that's on them. That's not on you. So try to give yourself a little more credit whenever you're reaching out to someone. It's a really hard thing to do. And honestly, like, I don't know when or like how I started feeling comfortable just sending blind messages to people or emailing them. I think one day I literally just woke up and was like, I want to do more and I want to further my career and do better. So this is just a way that I have to do it. And now it's just kind of like second nature. I'm just DMing people left and right or emailing them or stopping them on the street or whatever. I also think that I worked in retail, so it's easier for me to start up a conversation with someone that I've never met before and like try to grasp different things and keep the conversation going. But sometimes you guys, I really suck at it and I'm just straight up awkward, and that's just how it's going to be sometimes. And I will lay in bed and replay that conversation or that scenario in my head over and over and over again. And chances are, if we've had an awkward encounter, like, I'm still thinking about it, and that's normal. So if you're like that as well, it's normal. Just push yourself, like everyone has, like that person said in the comment, just push yourself. Everyone's feeling anxious about this. Everyone is feeling a little weird. Like, the worst thing that could happen is it doesn't work out, and then you go and meet someone else. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. These are all forms of networking in my book. If you're listening and you're like, oh, that's not that bad, or I can do that. Exactly. Networking is not as scary as it seems. I think we were just like, someone once told you that networking is terrifying or having a conversation with someone is terrifying, and we all just didn't get over it. Like, we're all recovering. So it's not. You can do it. Go apply for that job. Go DM someone. Go reach out to someone and let me know how it goes. I do want to hear if you took my advice or the girls' advice that messaged in and gave you guys advice. And that is this week's episode. thank you guys for being here. I am kind of proud of myself for getting through the episode. I think it's just going to get better and better each week. I'm going to feel a little more confident again. I'm going to gain more confidence. And we're going to get some guests on here. You're going to get more of me. If you have any questions, please, this is your chance. I am telling you, if you have questions, if you want me to talk about something, now is your time to shine. You please message at the Right Hand Gals on Instagram, email us, whatever you want, so I know what you want me to talk about. Because at the end of the day, this is for fun for me, and this is just fun for me, but this is for you guys, and I don't want to just be rambling on this side of the mic and then put it out and then it not benefit anyone. I want you guys to learn, and I want to have more conversations. So if you want me to talk about something specific, please message us, please follow us, and I will see you next week. Bye.